functions will probably be the most familiar topic to you overall, and that is because you've been doing it for so many years. So since you would have started in high school maths, you would have seen things like rules or linear relationships, and those by itself is a function. So let's just kind of chat a little bit about what's really the difference between a function and a relation. And you would have explored this quite thoroughly in Unit 1 too, but just to kind of note it down here, the difference between a function and a relation is that a function is a subtype of relation, and specifically it's a subtype where if we plug in an x value, we can only ever get one y value to come out of the function. And what we can conduct here, even though it's not really part of the study design anymore, but it's a good visual way to kind of check whether what we're doing, kind of aligns with what we're thinking of. What we can do is conduct something called the vertical line test. So if we have like a circle like this, and then we did a vertical line test, so the vertical line just goes through here, and you can kind of see that it touches at 2 points, which is not what we want, right? So compared to something which is a parabola, something like this, if we did a vertical line test, it would only touch at 1 point. So quite happy with that. So it's a good visual way to tell whether it's touching at more than 1 point. So a relationship includes all of these, so includes circles, includes really any weird and wonderful things, and it can have more than one x value going to, it can have one x value going to more than one y value, and it can also have vice versa. So you can have something like this, you can have something like this, and all of these would be kind of defined as functions. Defined as relations. All of these would be defined as relations, all three, but only this one would be defined as a function because it only touches once. And functions are essentially just machines, so we put something in and then we take something out, and that's how it kind of works. Cool. Awesome. So let's talk about what we're trying to put into the function first. So what we're putting into the function, by convention we use x quite a lot, but you'll see in application-y types of questions or questions where they give you the variables already, you might not be using just x, you might be using t or p or s, doesn't really matter. But if they do give you a specific variable that they would like you to work with, then it's quite important that you do use that variable and make sure to use that variable throughout. Kind of in the same thought process, if you introduce a variable at any time, which for example you say a or x or whatever, and it's especially if it's part of an application type of question, or they've told you certain things like, I don't know, if you had a court that was being formed and they told you the length, they want to maximize the area of the court, kind of those types of questions. And you said, okay, x equals to this, y equals to this, blah, 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 perimeter equals to this. So you gave them all this information, and then you ended up with, let's say, x equals to 25 is when you kind of get the maximum area. So that's good and all, but you haven't really told them what x equals to, so it's really important to kind of restate at the end that, okay, so that means that my width would have to equal to 25, and then my length would have to equal to 50 or something. So it's just important that you use the values they give you. Okay, so what we're trying to input is called the domain, and what we do is we kind of input the domain into the function, and what gets spit out is the range. So the range is the set of y values, or whatever your dependent value is called in this function, and it kind of just outputs the range of values. So domain is the input, and then we have range, which is kind of like the output side of it.